Are you tired of feeling isolated and alone in your problem-solving efforts? Do you long for the collaborative and creative energy that comes from working with a team? Look no further than the concept of shared thinking. By harnessing the collective intelligence of a group, you can tap into a wealth of ideas and perspectives, leading to more effective and efficient problem-solving. From brainstorming sessions to team-based decision-making, shared thinking has the power to transform the way you work and achieve your goals. But be warned, it does require effort to foster a culture of open communication and active listening, but the benefits are well worth it. Join the movement of shared thinking and unlock your team's full potential. So grab your imagination. In this video, Benefit from Shared Thinking from How Successful People Think book by the great author, speaker, and pastor John C. Maxwell. I promise you great pleasure, knowledge, and benefit. With Teamwork Story, the Ant's Secret Formula to Success in the End. Welcome to Readbook Channel, a channel that will help you learn skills from authors and speakers, international personalities, to step towards success and wealth in your life. If you are interested, honor me by subscribing. Let's get started. Benefit from shared thinking. None of us is as smart as all of us. Ken Blanchard. Shared thinking refers to the process of working together with others to solve a problem or achieve a goal. It is a way to pool the knowledge, skills, and resources of a group to achieve something that may be difficult or impossible for an individual to achieve alone. A brainstorming session where a group of people come together to generate ideas for a new project or product. Each person brings their own unique perspective and knowledge, and by sharing these ideas with the group, new and creative solutions can be developed that may not have been considered by any one person alone. A team working on a project where each member has different expertise and skills. By sharing their knowledge and working together, the team can make more efficient progress and achieve a higher quality outcome than if each person worked independently. It can also be applied to problem solving, where a group of people come together to find a solution to a specific problem. By discussing and sharing different perspectives, the group can identify new and innovative solutions that may not have been considered by any one person alone. In summary, shared thinking is a powerful tool that can be used to generate new ideas, solve problems, and achieve goals that may be difficult or impossible for an individual to accomplish alone. Good thinkers are aware of the importance of shared thought, especially good leaders. They are aware that when they respect other people's ideas and views, they benefit from the cumulative effects of shared thinking and achieve more than they ever could on their own. Those who participate in shared thinking understand the following. 1. Shared thinking is faster than solo thinking. Imagine a team of engineers are working on designing a new bridge. One engineer has expertise in structural engineering and is responsible for designing the bridge's foundation and support structure. Another engineer has expertise in transportation engineering and is responsible for designing the roadway and traffic flow. A third engineer has expertise in environmental engineering and is responsible for designing the bridge's impact on the surrounding ecosystem. If each engineer worked independently, they would likely have to spend a significant amount of time researching and studying the different aspects of bridge design that fall outside of their specific expertise. However, by working together and sharing their knowledge, the team can complete the project much faster. A structural engineer can share their knowledge with the transportation engineer to ensure that the roadway and traffic flow are supported by the foundation and support structure. The transportation engineer can share their knowledge with the environmental engineer to ensure that the traffic flow does not negatively impact the surrounding ecosystem. In this example, the team was able to complete the project faster because they were able to share their knowledge and expertise. Each engineer was able to focus on their specific area of expertise and rely on the knowledge of their team members to inform their work, rather than having to spend time researching and learning about areas outside of their expertise. In today's fast-moving world, it is impossible to keep up with the pace alone. The younger generation, who are entering the workforce, understand this well and place a high value on working together with others. This may be why they prioritize finding a company they align with over one that offers a higher salary. Collaborating with others is like a shortcut to achieving your goals. goals. If you want to quickly learn a new skill, seeking guidance and help from someone who has experience in that field is a much more efficient approach. How do you do it? Do you go off by yourself and figure it out, or do you get someone to show you how? You can always learn more quickly from someone with experience, whether you're trying to learn how to use a new software package, develop your golf swing, or cook a new dish. 2. Shared thinking is more innovative than solo thinking. The truth is that the greatest innovative thinking doesn't happen in a vacuum. Despite the fact that we often think of great thinkers and innovators as soloists, collaboration leads to innovation. Albert Einstein once remarked, "Many times a day I realize how much my own outer and inner life is built upon the labors of my fellow men, both living and dead, and how earnestly I must exert myself in order to give in return as much as I have received." If you examine the work of scientists Marie and Pierre Curie, surrealists Louis Brunel and Salvador Dali, or singers John Lennon and Paul McCartney, you will see that shared thought promotes better originality. You will have ideas you've never had if you merge your thinking with those of others. The story of the Human Genome Project (HGP). The HGP was a massive international research effort to map and sequence the entire human genome, which is the complete set of genetic instructions for building and maintaining a human being. The project was launched in 1990 and completed in 2003. The HGP brought together scientists from different disciplines and institutions, including genetics, molecular biology, and computer science, to work together and share their knowledge and expertise in order to achieve the goal of sequencing the human genome. The project was a massive undertaking that required the coordination of multiple teams across different countries. One of the most significant innovations to come out of the HGP was the development of new technologies and techniques for DNA sequencing. By working together and sharing their knowledge, the team was able to develop new and innovative methods for sequencing DNA, which greatly improved the speed and accuracy of the process. This innovation allowed for the faster and more efficient identification of genetic mutations and diseases, which has had a significant impact on the field of medicine and genetics. In summary, the Human Genome Project is a true example of how shared thinking can lead to more innovative solutions than solo thinking. By bringing together individuals from different disciplines and institutions and fostering collaboration and sharing of knowledge, the team was able to achieve a groundbreaking accomplishment that would not have been possible through solo thinking. 3. Shared thinking brings more maturity than solo thinking. One true story that illustrates the value of hooking up with someone who has the experience you need is the story of the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur Wright. The Wright brothers were two bicycle mechanics who became interested in the problem of human flight. At the time, there was little understanding of the principles of flight and no one had yet successfully flown a powered aircraft. The Wright brothers were determined to find a solution, but they lacked the experience and knowledge needed to achieve their goal. To gain the experience they needed, the Wright brothers hooked up with Octave Chanute, a well-known engineer and aviation expert. Chanute provided the Wright brothers with valuable information on the history of flight and the work of other researchers in the field. He also helped them to connect with other experts and provided them with access to important resources. With the help of Chanute, the Wright brothers were able to gain the experience and knowledge they needed to achieve their goal of manned flight. They made several successful flights in 1903, and their work laid the foundation for the development of modern aviation. In summary, the story of the Wright brothers illustrates the importance of hooking up with someone who has the experience you need. By connecting with Octave Chanute, a well-known engineer and aviation expert, the Wright brothers were able to gain the knowledge and experience they needed to achieve their goal of manned flight. This example shows that sometimes, even if you don't have the required experience, you can still achieve your goals by hooking up with someone who does. 4. Shared thinking is stronger than solo thinking. Philosopher-poet Johann Wolfgang von Goethe said, "To accept good advice is but to increase one's own ability." Collaboration is key. Two minds working together can achieve more than the sum of their individual efforts. Just like harnessing two horses to pull a wagon, they can move more weight when they pull together in the same direction. This is known as synergy, a phenomenon where the combined efforts of a team lead to better results than those achieved by individual efforts. When people think together, they can accomplish more than what they can individually. 5. Shared thinking returns greater value than solo thinking. It is evident that collaborative thinking produces a better return because it is more powerful than solo thinking. That occurs as a result of shared thinking's compounding effect. but it also has additional advantages. Sharing ideas and experiences can have significant personal benefits. Clarence Francis sums up the benefits in the following observation: "I sincerely believe that the word relationships is the key to the prospect of a decent world. It seems abundantly clear that every problem you will have in your family, in your work, in our nation, or in this world is essentially a matter of relationships, of interdependence." 6. Shared thinking is the only way to have great thinking. I believe that every great idea begins with 3 or 4 good ideas, and most good ideas come from shared thinking. Playwright Ben Jonson said, "He that is taught only by himself has a fool for a master." When I was in school, I noticed that teachers focused more on individual performance and competition rather than collaboration among students. However, I have realized that the best solutions come from utilizing the collective thinking of a group. When we pool our ideas and perspectives, we have the potential to come up with truly great and innovative solutions. With each individual contributing one thought, the group has the potential for twice as many ideas. Collaboration leads to better outcomes rather than solely emphasizing on being right or doing better than others. How to encourage the participation of shared thinking. Some people naturally participate in shared thinking. Anytime they see a problem, they think, "Who do I know who can help with this?" Leaders tend to be that way. So do extroverts. However, you don't have to be either of those to benefit from shared thinking. Use the following steps to help you improve your ability to harness shared thinking. 1. Value the ideas of others. The internet, as we know it today, was created in the 1960s and 1970s by a team of scientists and engineers led by Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn. The team was tasked with developing a way to connect different computer networks together, and they faced many challenges in doing so. One of the key challenges was finding a way to allow different networks to communicate with each other despite using different technologies and protocols. To overcome this challenge, the team relied heavily on the ideas and perspectives of their colleagues. They held regular meetings where they discussed and debated different solutions and approaches. They also actively sought out the ideas and input of other experts in the field. Through this process of valuing the ideas of others, the team was able to develop a system of communication protocols that allowed different networks to communicate with each other, known as TCP/IP. This was the foundation of the internet as we know it today. The founding of the internet illustrates the value of valuing the ideas of others. By actively seeking out and valuing the perspectives and input of their colleagues, the team was able to overcome a major challenge and create a revolutionary technology that has changed the world. First, believe that the ideas of other people have value. If you don't, your hands will be tied. How do you know if you truly want input from others? Ask yourself these questions. Am I emotionally secure? Emotional security plays a vital role in being open to the ideas of others. Individuals who lack self-confidence and fear for their status, position, or power tend to reject the ideas of others, protect their own interests, and keep people at bay. On the other hand, emotionally secure people are more likely to consider the ideas of others and collaborate. I remember a situation where an emotionally insecure person was appointed to a key position on my board of directors. It became clear after a few meetings that this individual was not contributing positively to the organization. I asked a more experienced leader on the board for their insight, and they said hurting people hurt people. This statement stayed with me and helped me understand that emotional insecurity can lead to negative behavior and hinder progress. Do I place value on people? You won't value the ideas of a person if you don't value and respect the person himself or herself. Have you ever considered your conduct around people you value versus those you don't? Look at the differences. If I value people, if I don't value people, I want to spend time with them. I don't want to be around them. I listen to them. I neglect to listen. I want to help them. I don't offer them help. I am influenced by them. I ignore them. I respect them. I am indifferent. Do I value the interactive process? Collaboration can lead to a wonderful synergy, taking you to places you never thought possible. As publisher Malcolm Forbes said, listening to advice often accomplishes far more than heeding it. In the past, I used to withdraw when I wanted to develop ideas and would only reluctantly work on them with others. But after a colleague challenged me on this, I realized that my reluctance was rooted in my past experiences, where I found that some of my teachers were unprepared and asked for uninformed opinions on a subject I realized that the process of sharing ideas wasn't the problem, but it was who was doing the talking. Shared thinking is only as effective as the people involved in it. Since then, I have embraced the interactive process and now consider it one of my strengths. However, I'm always mindful of who I bring to the table for a shared thinking session to ensure that it is a productive and beneficial experience for all. You must open yourself up to the idea of sharing ideas before you will engage in the process of shared thinking. 2. Move from competition to cooperation. Jeffrey J. Fox, author of How to Become CEO, says, always be on the lookout for ideas. Be completely indiscriminate as to the source. Get ideas from customers, children, competitors, other industries, or cab drivers. It doesn't matter who thought of an idea. Cooperation is key. A person who values it strives to build on the ideas of others rather than compete with them. When someone invites you to share your ideas, the focus should be on helping the team succeed rather than personal gain. If you are the one bringing people together to share their thoughts, it's important to emphasize the value of the idea rather than the person who suggested it. By creating a culture where the best idea wins, regardless of its origin, individuals will be more likely to share their thoughts with enthusiasm and openness. 3. Have an agenda when you meet. I appreciate spending time with certain people, whether we discuss ideas or not, such as my family, my wife, children, grandchildren, and parents. With them, there's a strong bond and I don't always feel the need to discuss ideas, but when we do, it's always a great conversation. However, when I spend time with others, I usually have an agenda or a specific purpose for the meeting. The more I respect the person's wisdom, the more I listen to them. For instance, when I mentor someone, I let them ask questions, but I also make sure to contribute with my own thoughts. When someone mentors me, I mostly keep quiet and listen attentively. In other relationships, the conversation is more balanced. But no matter who I meet with, I always have a reason for getting together, and I have expectations for what I'll give and get from it, whether it's for business or pleasure. 4. Get the right people around the table. You need to surround yourself with people who can contribute to common thinking if you want to achieve anything worthwhile. Use the following selection criteria as you are ready to invite others to engage in shared thinking. Choose people whose greatest desire is the success of the ideas, people who can add value to another's thoughts, people who can emotionally handle quick changes in the conversation, people who appreciate the strengths of others in areas where they are weak, people who understand their place of value at the table, people who place what is best for the team before themselves, people who can bring out the best thinking in the people around them, people who possess maturity, experience, and success in the issue under discussion, people who will take ownership and responsibility for decisions, people who will leave the table with a we attitude, not a me attitude. Too often we choose our brainstorming partners based on feelings of friendship or circumstances or convenience, but that doesn't help us to discover and create the ideas of the highest order. Who we invite to the table makes all the difference. Apple Inc., Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded Apple in 1976. The three of them had different backgrounds and skills, but they were all passionate about technology and innovation. Steve Jobs was a visionary and a master of marketing. Steve Wozniak was an engineer and a hacker, and Ronald Wayne was an experienced businessman. Together, they formed a diverse and complementary team that was able to create groundbreaking technology and revolutionize the personal computer industry. Steve Wozniak was responsible for designing the Apple I computer. Steve Jobs was responsible for marketing and sales, and Ronald Wayne provided the financial and business expertise. The team was able to achieve success because they brought the right people around the table. Each member brought their own unique skills and expertise, which helped to create a well-rounded and effective team. The founding of Apple Inc. illustrates the importance of getting the right people around the table. By bringing together a diverse and complementary team of individuals with different backgrounds and skills, the founders were able to create groundbreaking technology and revolutionize the personal computer industry. This is a clear example of how having the right people with the right skills working together can lead to success and innovation. 5. Compensate good thinkers and collaborators well. Shared thinking is a technique in effective organizations friends. If you are in charge of a group, division, or team, you cannot afford to be without those who are skilled in shared thinking. Look for people that have strong moral principles, respect for others, are emotionally stable, and have experience working in teams. Pay them well, then push them to think critically and frequently express their opinions. Nothing adds value like a group of smart people working together. No matter what you're trying to accomplish, you can do it better with shared thinking. That is why I spend much of my life teaching leadership. Good leadership helps to put together the right people at the right time for the right purpose so that everybody wins. All it takes is the right people and a willingness to participate in shared thinking. Story part: Teamwork Story, the Ant's Secret Formula to Success. There is a world that humans don't know exists, well, at least not in such a capacity. This is the world of insects, in which way more is going on than humans understand and believe. In this world, insects live their lives similarly to humans do. They have responsibilities, jobs, hobbies, holidays, friends, and most importantly, they have their sports games which they take very seriously. The most important of them all is the great acrobatic balloon competition, which occurs only a couple of times every year. Every insect near and far had been training hard, and now the day of the competition had finally come. The humans had a birthday celebration for one of their kids, and the insects only had a few hours before the parents would come back and clean what was left after the celebration. Each time, the flying insects were favorites to win at this competition, because they could grab the balloon strings and fly off in all directions, creating all sorts of patterns in the air. However, on this occasion, there were some rather unusual insects taking part that had never done so. It was a group of ants. Of course, no one expected that they'd do anything special. They were too light and they had no experience at competitions of this kind. When the other insects asked them why they even bother competing, the ants would simply reply, "Our formula to success is teamwork." Other insects would laugh and make fun of the ants. "You silly ants, you can't be more wrong. Your formula to success will get you nowhere." Facts show that in every event, one of the flying insects that fly alone wins the competition. The ants just stood quiet and waited for their turn. The competition began, and the insects took their turns, performing beautiful maneuvers with the balloons. As always, the butterfly and the firefly left everyone amazed with their twists and turns and their wonderful colors. When it was time for the ants to perform, it seemed like the competition had already been decided in the favor of the butterfly. That was until when all the ants started their performance together as one. One by one, they climbed up the balloon string, forming a thin black thread of ants. When all the string was covered, the last ant climbed over his teammates to reach the balloon. Once there, the ant climbed right under the balloon, right where the balloon was tied with the rope, and waited a bit for everyone to gather. Of course, this strange spectacle attracted everyone's curiosity, and soon more and more insects gathered to see what would happen next. Some of the flying insects even started making fun of the ants. This is their formula to success, holding together while walking up the line. The ants again ignored such remarks and continued their performance. Finally, the time came when the ant at the top opened its jaw as wide as it could and bite the balloon. The bite caused a hole in the balloon and air started blowing out. The result was tremendous. The balloon began flying wildly all over the place, doing 1,000 pirouettes, while the perfectly synchronized ants made all kinds of beautiful shapes out of the string. Luckily, the ants were the last competitors, as at the end of the act the balloon was empty. But none of the insects cared about that, because the performance was so magnificent and original that all the insects agreed the ants should win. From then on, in that garden, everyone understood how much could be achieved by working together. In the years to come, the balloon competitions were full of displays carried out by teams, and they put on many wonderful routines. The insects even started to work together in other everyday activities and flourished way more than insects in other gardens. Soon the formula to success was out for all to know and implement, even in the furthest gardens, but only a few of the insects actually did so. Moral of the story: you can be successful on your own, there is no doubt about it, but the biggest success comes from teamwork. The most successful people in the world always had a team behind them. There is only so much you can do on your own, Thank you for watching, and I hope you will become rich one day, and I promise to help you and give you everything you need to be able to walk the path of wealth. But be ready.